Hey guys, this is Phil Sally with your grain market update for Friday, December 1st. As we enter the winter months here in December and put harvest behind us, I want to take a look back on what the markets have done this past growing season. First, we want to look at the March corn futures. We got pulled up here as the March 18 corn futures. And kind of the first thing, takeaway from this, you want to see where that peak was. And that peak was in toward the end of July, and we all remember that. That was the time when we saw saw that drought concern, and markets got up pretty high. And shortly following that, there was ample rain across the Midwest and dropped that market back down. As you can see, it traded sideways for a little while up until we got to August. And the other, nail in the coffin on that was the August USDA report when they came out with such a huge yield. And so that actually dropped our price back down closer to where we're at right now. They got down around that 355, 360 mark. From there, we pretty well traded sideways through harvest up until November when the USDA released the corn yield at 175.4. And once it hit that, we actually got down to where we're at now, which is actually trading lows for the past year. Next one I want to look at is the bean graph here. And these are the beans for January of 18. And they've pretty much done the same thing. We had a peak there in July whenever there was that drought concern, and we got some rain, and that August USDA report brought it back down. And actually after that, beans actually started to trend a little bit higher going through harvest. And even though we're about 30 cents off where we were this time last year, we are actually starting to get a little bit higher and kind of trending toward where we were last year. So the third graph I want to talk about is the wheat. This is the July wheat of 18, and as you can see, that big peak in that was post-harvest when we all kind of, that spring wheat had the market kind of going crazy. There was talk about not having any up north, and that's where we saw our huge peak in that. And ever since then, it's pretty well fallen back off to where it's at now, which is at some yearly lows. So about these graphs, I guess the big takeaway I want to have about this is just to pay attention to the USDA reports and to the weather. As we can see, as long as you're watching that, that's when you can have the best chance to try to lock in a rally in these futures markets. And I know that's not something everybody gets a chance to look at every day, but we watch that every day, so something to give us a call about, and we can pretty much tell you what the weather's doing over in South America or other parts of the world that's going to affect this market. So looking ahead, I want to touch on the next USDA report. It's going to be December 12th. And another thing to keep an eye on is going to be South America's weather. As I mentioned before, right now the weather is looking favorable, but just continue to watch that. And anytime, feel free to call in the office, and we'll kind of tell you what's going on with that, because that's going to be affecting the bean prices moving forward. So, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. Thank you.